morning and welcome to the war, the information war. I'm DLAKE for PREZ, reporting for themediaspeaks.com. That's right, themediaspeaks.com. Everyone, please check out the website at www.themediaspeaks.com. Today we're going to discuss Ebola hysteria. Oh my God. Zombies stalking the land, coming back to life. Medical tyranny. Fear. Panic. Hysteria. I don't know. I like to start my days on the Drudge Report, other news media outlets. Drudge, of course, being a news aggregator. Stephen Colbert coming out this week, just the other night, and saying that, oh yeah, he starts his day with the Drudge Report. Well, I start my day with work, but when I have a free minute normally at work, I go to the Drudge Report and I see what the top headlines are, the news aggregation. It's basically the internet version of your local Union Tribune, more on a national scale. Yeah, sometimes he does post some pretty obscure and funny pictures as the headlines. Matt Drudge does on the drudgereport.com. Why don't I go to screen share and let's maybe try to take a look at that. Okay, that's DLAKE's page. Drudge Report, where are you? There you are. Drudge Report. Look at this picture. Oh my God. Disaster of our generation. Well, that sounds like something we got to click into immediately. Here's some videos that I covered yesterday on the Saturday show with the crew, with Kyle Phillips and Sam Ibidiganji. Today it's just me. Welcome to the war, everyone. Ebola is disaster of our generation, says aid agency. Oh, there's Barack Obama. Let's play this, why don't we? Let's see what's going on here. Do we have to sit through a commercial first? Yes.
What's with all the
advertisement?
Running
advertisement.
Here, running there.
You say
running
tomato, I say tomato.
He's running out of things, making runs. Running out of more things, making more runs.
Okay.
Running to, running from.
Where's the volume control on this?
Running around in circles. Sometimes you like.
All right, so we're running around in circles and going to Target there apparently, and here we go.
Free of your favorite essentials.
Right.
Now running out.
Thank you. Thank you, Target, for fucking up my show. Okay, go to Target, not Walmart.
You directly and clearly
There
about
we go.
Ebola.
Let me be clear.
No.
Perfectly
Because
clear.
meeting a public health challenge like this isn't just a job for government. All of us, citizens, leaders, the media, have a responsibility and a role to play.
Yeah,
It's
mama.
a serious disease, but we can't give in to hysteria or fear, because that only makes it harder to get people the accurate information they need.
You're dying of Ebola. There you are. You're dying. You're dying. You're sick. You're dying.
We have to be guided by the science. We have to remember the basic facts.
Okay, great. Great footage. Let's see what the New York Times is putting out.
First, what we're seeing now is not an outbreak or an epidemic of Ebola in America. We're a nation of more than 300 million people. To date, we've seen 3 cases of Ebola diagnosed here.
Yeah, apparently there was a web page that came out with 3 million graphics of humans, you know, just like looks like a bathroom stall picture of humans. And over 320 million roughly are gray, except for 3 on a page of 3 million that are in red as the Ebola victims. And that's pretty funny because people were spraining their arms and getting carpal tunnel scrolling down the page to try to find the Ebola victims in our population.
The man who contracted the disease in Liberia came here and said the 2 courageous nurses who were infected while they were treating him. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we're doing everything we can to give them the best care possible. Now, even 1 infection is too many.
You don't say. Life in quarantine in Dallas. The refrigerator in Youngor, Jala's small apartment broke down last week, and it did not take long for the stench of rotting food to grow unbearable. But when she reported the problem to the front office, the complex manager said that a repairman would not be sent until Monday. This is the expiration date for the 21-day self-imposed quarantine that Miss Jala, her partner, and her 4 children have endured since the day her mother's boyfriend, Thomas Eric Duncan, was hospitalized here with Ebola. Now, yeah, I believe the daughter of the mother's boyfriend, after 7 days, the CDC said she was free to go, but she's bearing the full 21-day self-imposed quarantine, which I think is a notable and admirable thing. The complex manager urged Miss Jala to move her food to the apartment across the stairwell, which was empty because new neighbors decided against moving in after hearing about the neighbors with the possible Ebola. When the landlord sent a maintenance man to deliver the key, he arrived wearing 2 pair of rubber gloves. How smart. Looking on my screen right now, if you're watching live, Axel Good, who was seated on a flight near a nurse, later found to have Ebola. The nurse was later found to have Ebola. He is giving up 3 weeks of income in quarantine. So 21 days he's going to spend indoors, away from everyone else in quarantine. So, you know, good thing possibly. You know, he's like, I don't have a high temperature, I don't have any fever, but, you know, better safe than sorry. I mean, better safe than sorry. Does Obama say that anywhere in the speech?
At the same time, we have to keep this
It's better safe than sorry.
in perspective.
Okay, let's keep it in perspective. Could possibly be a false flag. Okay. What did Robert David Steele, former CIA agent, say on InfoWars back in September? Let's take a look at that.
They will have another false flag. In fact, the false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate, but then they pretend that it's Ebola and that it has been brought here by Saudi martyrs. Okay? So no, we have not reached the end of the false flag line. However...
Okay. The questions and answers are enabled this morning. If you have anything that you'd like to add, if you'd like to join the conversation, just click this. Should be a questions and answers link there. If you want to chime in and join the conversation with DLAKE for PREZ, your host today, discussing Ebola hysteria. And I guess no better music for me to play than the Planet Terror. Okay? I discussed yesterday how zombies and zombie talk about Ebola is ridiculous, and showed a lot of good footage coming. I say good footage. I mean, did I show the little kid falling down in Africa? Yeah, it's pretty funny. Going back to Obama.
Health experts point out every year thousands of Americans die from the flu.
Okay. And bee stings and shark attacks and lightning bolt strikes and all that other stuff. Oxfam, which works in the two worst hit countries, Liberia and Sierra Leone, over there in West Africa, on Saturday called for more troops, funding, and medical staff to be sent to tackle the West African epicenter of the epidemic. Chief Executive Mark Goldring warned that the world was in the eye of the storm. We cannot allow Ebola to immobilize us in fear, but countries that have failed to commit troops, doctors, and enough funding are in danger of costing lives, he said. The worst ever outbreak of the deadly virus has so far killed more than 4,500 people, mainly in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, but isolated cases have now begun to appear in Europe and the United States. What was Robert David Steele saying about a dissipated pseudo-bioweapon that they would tell us was Ebola, but wasn't really Ebola and would probably be over in time for the November elections? I have a feeling we'll have this Ebola shit cured up by Christmas. What do you guys think? Dr. Howard Markle, who teaches the history of medicine at the University of Michigan, said the quarantines recalled the country's distant epidemics of cholera, typhus, and also the bubonic plague. Sam was pointing out Ebola-like symptoms and disease that had killed people in Athens. Okay. Athens, Greece, like thousands of years ago, being symptomatic, comparably symptomatic to modern day Ebola. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here's the kid. Here he is. Springing a step, walking, dancing step, according to Kyle. Up there he is. He falls down, and it's time for him to lay down. He's naked. Good thing he laid down in this white cement area. Had he laid over here, we might not have been able to see him. Okay, there he is. I'm sick, I'm dead, I'm dying. There's the doctors. This van that was wide open so we could get all this footage of people just falling out. A bunch of naked black people in Africa. Great. That's what happens. They're just walking along the street. He's listening to some rap music. Here it is. Wait, here we go. Yeah, what's up? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm dead. I'm dying. Thanks, CNN. Great, wonderful footage. Like we said before, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead or dying, or if they're actually sick, and that's the case. But let me see if I have a qualifying message here. Oh, it looks like I could be joined here by Kyle Phillips of themediaspeaks.com. Let me see if we can't get him in here. Copy the link, DLAKE. You pressed the wrong button and opened up a bunch of shit. What are you doing? Do you even know what you're doing? Okay, paste. Enter. Get in here. Get in here. It's kind of hard to type on the fly with my super awesome power gloves. But hopefully we'll be joined by Kyle Phillips. You never know. Considering I have 0 fucking viewers, does it really matter? Do we really need Kyle in here right now? He was probably the one person that was watching earlier. I think I had 2 to 3 viewers. We'll see. We'll see. Also in today's Drudge headlines, hospitals grid for we're refreshing. Thanks, Drudge. I love how Drudge continuously fucks up my show with their refreshing. I have to turn that down if I'm joined by Kyle. Shit, I might have to put on headphones now that I think about it. Am I still on? I think I just clicked myself out of my own show. Am I back on? Wonderful. I'm waiting for Kyle, and I'm clicking in and out of my own show. DLAKE, you're doing a wonderful, marvelous job. Great thing you decided to go live this Saturday. Where's your lower third? Where's Kyle? What's going on? Do I have any viewers? No one knows what's happening. Is it all going to hell? I have one viewer. Thank you for witnessing what the fuck just happened. Quarantine for exposure, 21 days of fear and loathing. I talked about that. Wire, monitoring inconsistent as virus spread. What do you know? Monitoring inconsistent. Who would have imagined? Researchers try to quell fears. U.S. soldiers won't get protective hazmat suits for mission in West Africa. That is also in tonight's links as the disaster of our generation. Let me go to my screen share without clicking out of the Google and ruining the whole show again. The 101st Airborne Division won't get full protective hazmat suits for Ebola mission in West Africa. Well, do they need it? Unbelievable! Troops from the 101 Airborne Division will not receive full protective hazmat suits for their mission in West Africa. They're being sent to West Africa, but won't get full protective hazmat suits. How many ways can we say the same thing? 101. The 101st Airborne is a U.S. Army modular light infantry division trained for air assault operations. The division was renowned for its role on D-Day. Major General David H. Petraeus, that was a while ago, Eagle 6, led the Screaming Eagles to war in 2003, like I said a long time ago, during Operation Iraqi Freedom. The administration says they won't need them. Health officials admitted this past week that the death rate in the Ebola epidemic has risen to 70%, up from 50%. Meanwhile, Obama hit the links today. I believe that's a golf term. I believe Obama has gone golfing. I sent Kyle the link, and I don't know where he is. Do I have any other messages? I said, get in here. Looks to be seen. Maybe you tried. Well, there was a blackout. Oh, I'm showing you all that? There it is, everyone. Quick, copy and paste that link. And you could join in, too. I really wish I had like 1 million viewers, so when I was like talking about this shit, people would be like, "Oh yeah, DLAKE, we know exactly what you mean." It's great. I'm gonna play this little ditty again. This is from September, everyone.
We'll have another false flag. In fact, they will have another false flag. In fact, the false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical.
Whoa. A simulated wait, excuse me, Robert David Steele. Can you say that one more time?
About is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate, but then they pretend that it's Ebola.
They pretend that it's Ebola.
Second, Ebola is actually a difficult disease to catch. It's not transmitted through the air like the flu. You cannot get it from just riding on a plane or a bus. The only way that a person can contract the disease is by coming into direct contact with the bodily fluids of somebody who is already showing symptoms.
CDC already dispelled that.
Some of the doctors and nurses who've treated Ebola patients. I've met with an Ebola patient who recovered right in the Oval Office.
I had sex with him, and I didn't get it.
Third, we know how to fight this disease. We know the protocols.
Okay. I'm joined by Kyle Phillips of The Media Speaks. I thought I was on
wasn't fully prepared.
How you doing, DLAKE?
I wasn't fully prepared. Kyle, welcome yourself to the show while I switch headphones here.
Ah! Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle Phillips from themediaspeaks.com, the best website that's ever existed, pretty much in the world. You know, there's Google, there's Drudge Report, but really, nothing beats out themediaspeaks.com and themediaspeaks.com on YouTube, where we bring you the latest and greatest every single day, followed up with sound effects from cheesy Infowars.com commercials.
Oh, Betty, that's just awful.
That is awful, Betty. That is. I feel really bad for that family. Betty and, I forget the husband's name that's also in the commercials, talking about their sex life on a family program. I don't know. But, so what were we talking about? Ebola.
Yeah. I'm going off today about Ebola hysteria. Kyle, it's the disaster of our generation, according to top headline news this morning. You know, I'm showing the Drudge Report, disaster of our generation. You know, pretty soon we're all.
I have a surprise for you.
What's that?
I think my internet's messing up. It's either mine or yours. I'm getting really skippy. Is my audio coming through okay?
Yeah, you said you had a surprise for me. What's the surprise again, Kyle?
I have a surprise for you. It's poop.
Kyle, pretty soon we're all going to be wearing these hazmat suits and carrying off dead people to various locations where they will then be reincarnated and walk among us as the Walking Dead. Zombies. I was showing again some clips from what we played yesterday with the little kid bopping along there, and then he falls into the street. That's one of your favorites. I'm dead, I'm dying. Okay, I know you like that one, Kyle. Also in the Drudge Report today, quarantine for exposure. The stepdaughter of Thomas Eric Duncan. The CDC said after 7 days she could just, you know, start wandering and roaming amongst us, you know, kind of thing with her.
Makes sense.
Possible Ebola. They're like, you're free, you can go. Just like they told the nurse, yeah, you're free to fly from here to Ohio, and then create a scare and panic, and some old man that doesn't really know what's going on gets a felony charge for saying that he might have flown on the same planet as Ebola and freaking out the casino workers, Kyle. And the Carnival cruise ship is returning to dock in Texas. Apparently has an Ebola patient on it. I mean, Kyle, where is there not an Ebola, a suspected or a potential Ebola patient or scare right now?
Yeah, wanted to say by me, but then I was like, oh wait, I'm pretty sure they shut down a hospital like a few towns over because somebody came in with symptoms, and then of course didn't have Ebola. But yeah, just about everywhere. And part of the problem with that, and I don't know if it's good or bad, is I read an article recently that said that the CDC is telling hospitals to think Ebola. Now, if you're living in a place nowhere near any outbreaks, not near the coast, not near Austin, like if you're living in like Alaska, should you be thinking Ebola? Like if you're living in, you know, a small southern town, should you be thinking Ebola? Whenever there's even an episode of the great show Scrubs where all the doctors are sitting around watching the news and there's a story about some new virus going around and they're all like, great. Because whenever there's a story about a new virus, hundreds of people flock to the hospital insisting that they have it. So when you tell them think Ebola, everything looks like Ebola now, right? And then you're going to get scares.
Hypochondria, right? Hypochondria.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, it's like I want them to be aware of it and I want them to be able to identify it. But I don't want hospitals freaking out about every single person who comes in with diarrhea and the hiccups.
Yeah, the hiccups, right?
Yeah. You could just have diarrhea and the hiccups. That's a possibility, right?
Yeah, I mean, the footage that I look at from Africa, I mean, they're all just sitting around in this, like, you know, hospital type place, but I mean, none of them have the grotesque pictures that we've seen.
They all just look really tired. They all look like they haven't slept in like 4 days.
Like that, maybe they don't have the flu. I mean, maybe they just have like the regular flu. I mean, Kyle, how did you feel about what I brought up yesterday about there's people in Africa putting formaldehyde into the wells and into the water, which give people Ebola-like symptoms. And
I wonder because the one person you read the article about the guy who got caught putting formaldehyde in a well, and he said that he was paid to do it and that other people were paid all over. Who's paying them? Who wants that? You know, who wants symptoms of Ebola all over the country?
I mean, yeah, that's the scary part, right? I mean, is this I mean, false flag has become one of those terms like terrorism and racist, Kyle, where it's like you could slap it on anything and people don't necessarily take it like 100% seriously, but or inside job, same thing, but it's like because then those are like conspiracy theorist pinpoint words or like hot keywords, you know. So it's like, can we take you seriously if that's the way that you're approaching this thought pattern?
But at the same time, we know that false flags exist. We know the Battle of Tonkin. We know the plans to do a false flag during the Cuban Missile Crisis to get us into war with Cuba and Russia. We know that these things have been considered in the past.
Reichstag fire, a bunch of same things. Hitler, Reichstag fire, you know, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so we know these things have happened throughout history and within our own government. Like the Gulf of Tonkin incident is a very, very real false flag that did happen. It's documented. It's a part of our history. We know that. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's absolutely true. And the problem is, it's very convenient for the government, and I understand why they have secret files that don't get released. They have a time period on them, like the Kennedy files that came out, last year, because there's a time frame that they have to be secret for.
Yeah, it's in like,
that works out. That works out well for keeping secrets from our enemies and stuff, but it also works out very well that, you know, a document doesn't get released until 50 years after the fact, and it says, oh, we did a false flag to get us into this conflict or this war or whatever. And it's easy to... Yeah, and it's like, we don't do that anymore, though. That's then. That was 50 years ago, and 50 years from now, we'll be saying the same shit.
Yeah, 20 years from now, we'll be like, P.S., like the Ebola crisis, the IRS scandal, the Benghazi, you know.
Yeah, we'll get real information on that, and people will go, oh, of course that's what happened, but that shit doesn't happen now. It's like, come on, we're dealing with the same structure of government.
Like,
we're dealing...
Don't you think that made DLAKE and Kyle and all the other news reporters, don't you think that made their life so much more easy that they were talking all this stuff, but we didn't know the truth until 20 years later? I mean, shit, I wish I could get sent back from the past and be like, hey, everyone, this shit's not... I mean, would anyone listen to me even then? I'm like, I'm from the future. And
no, they want... Yeah, here's an iPhone. I'm from the future. My name's DLAKE for PREZ. Like, here's my ID.
Yeah,
They'd be like, oh, this is a crazy person. What, are there voices in your brain too, Mr. DLAKE for PREZ? You'd be like, fuck, I've actually thought about this. If you could go back in time and warn people of stuff, think about it. If you could go back in time to the year 2000, you'd be running around like, 9/11's gonna happen. Don't be in New York. We gotta stop this. People from Saudi Arabia are gonna take over planes, and people would be like, calm the fuck down, DLAKE, okay? Just put on your headphones, listen to your Dr. Dre 2000 album on your Sony Discman, and just calm down. just calm the fuck down. They wouldn't believe you at all. Until afterwards, after whatever event you tried to stop did happen, they'd be like, DLAKE must have been in on it, because he knew. There's nothing you could do if you were a time traveler except for invest in the stock market, buy a ton of Google stock, buy a ton of Bitcoin. That's about all you could do.
Yeah.
Couldn't warn people. They want to listen. They'd be like, "You're a crazy person."
I know. See, that's the paradox of time travel. It's like, why warn anyone when I could just get rich and use this all to my total advantage?
Well, yeah, because one of those things will work and the other one will make you look like a crazy person. So you might as well just be the rich, or you could be both. You could be the rich crazy person.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about before I forget.
It's easier to be crazy when you're rich, though, Kyle.
That's true. Look at John McAfee.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly.
I wanted to talk about. I forgot to bring it up yesterday on the show. Have you heard that there's a developing black market for the blood of Ebola survivors?
Yeah,
It's
black
like-
market Ebola blood.
Yeah, people are buying Ebola blood, I believe, to like inject into themselves. I don't know if they're like following proper science.
Supposedly some of the science, I don't know how quackery it is, behind treating Ebola patients, supposedly blood transfusions are one of the more successful methods, according to some reports.
Yeah, and if you get blood from somebody who had Ebola, it's essentially like a vaccine. They have the antibodies already built up in their system, and they give them to you so that your body gets like reinforcements. These guys come in and they're like, "Oh, you got Ebola in here? We fucked up Ebola back in gym, and we're gonna fuck Ebola up in you." And they all rile behind these like red blood cells and antibodies, and they kick Ebola, beat them the fuck up. And that's good.
Yeah, I like fucking up Ebola. I mean, that's pretty much why I go live with these reports. You know, I'm
I
like,
picture it kind of like Osmosis Jones.
outbreak causing some to change travel plans, communities taking dramatic steps to avoid virus, wanted screeners for $19 an hour. Oh, why not 20? Why not the Freedom Socialist Party $20 minimum?
One more dollar, that's all you need. Have
Yeah.
you seen the picture of there was a dude in an airport who was like fully decked out in like hazmat
Yeah,
gear?
I saw that. Was that a male or female? I thought it was a woman.
I don't know, but I think that might be bogus because I've seen similar pictures, and there's a thing where like a certain branch of like Hasidic Jews, I believe, they think it's like a sin to be in or over a graveyard. And they'll do that because somehow that's like a loophole, is, you know, cover yourself in cellophane and shit if you're going to fly, and then flying over graveyards doesn't count. So I've heard of that too, which is like a rare thing, but I could see those pictures coming from that practice. But at the same time, I don't doubt that somebody is fucking hazmat. But if, like, talk about the ultimate suspicion, like even with the Ebola scare and stuff, you show up at O'Hare International Airport wearing a full hazmat suit and you're like, all right, ready to fly. They're going to be like, no. No, not happening.
Yeah. The one guy, I think maybe he's a doctor even. He wore a full hazmat suit with CDC is lying printed on the back or written on the back. Yeah, they didn't let him. I don't think he made his flight. Well, if he made his flight, it wasn't in the pre-Halloween costume that he had going on. Let's play a little bit more Obama.
And we know that when they're followed,
Oh,
they work.
what's he saying?
So far, 5 Americans who got infected with Ebola in West Africa have been brought back to the United States, and all 5 have been treated safely without infecting healthcare workers.
Okay.
And this week, at my direction, we're stepping up all of our efforts.
Uh-huh.
Additional CDC personnel are on the scene in Dallas and Cleveland. We're working quickly to track and monitor anyone who may have been in close contact with someone showing symptoms.
Kyle, sounds pretty decent. Sounds pretty good.
It's way too complicated for me.
His czar's not showing up to the meeting. He's spending all this time playing golf. Let's take a look at this one. I didn't know I had the sound on. I hope there wasn't a bunch of echo during the last part. But here, let's try to play this one. Okay.
You ain't my bitch, nigga. Buy your own damn fries.
Bumpy road. Hey, Coach T.
Okay, Kyle, while we play this commercial, do you have any other good sound effects? Shit's getting way too
Sure,
cool.
you can have my number, baby. Sorry ass motherfucker got nothing on me, right? Nothing.
Best soundboard ever.
Shit's getting way too complicated.
There are white folks, and then there are ignorant motherfuckers like you. Now, you know that guy ain't shit.
Best soundboard.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
President Barack Obama has spent more time golfing than he has spent listening to daily intelligence briefings. The Daily Caller has calculated, based on a new report by the Florida-based Government Accountability Institute, that he's spent almost 700 hours in 875 presidential daily briefings since 2009. But he's also spent roughly 800 hours on almost 200 golf trips since his first inauguration. In contrast, President George W. Bush largely gave up golfing during the Iraq campaign from 2003 to 2008.
Bush comparison. Blame Bush.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Kyle, great sound effects, buddy.
I don't even know where I got the soundboard, but it's so good.
I'm so glad that you came on today.
But I mean, like I said, all the Ebola hype and stuff, I'm really not super worried about it. At least not yet. There's a time to freak out, and I think Sam said it best. Like, there's a time to like start taking precautions and stuff. And if you want to take precautions, like, hey, if you can take one room in your house and like, you know, plastic and ionic breeze in that motherfucker and some infrared virus killing lights and seal it up with a few gallons of water and some storable food, and it's not going to hurt your budget and you're not going to miss some bills or miss your mortgage because of it, well, I mean, there's never going to be a time where you're like, damn, I wish I didn't have that completely hermetically sealed room. But I mean, if you want to do that, cool. I don't think it's really necessary at this point. I mean, when you see 4,000 cases of Ebola in the United States, that's when it's time to start freaking the fuck out. But we're not even near that now. We got, what, 3? Well, and that clipboard dude is going to be soon, so let's just assume 4. Once Mr. Clipboard gets it.
No, tell us how you really feel. No, I'm just kidding. Kyle, can you lay down your full Ebola crisis synopsis for me?
I mean, I'm hesitant to jump to like false flag or anything like that and say that it was intentional or anything like that, because let's face it, in the place where this is coming from, Africa, like, people live in fucking mud huts and don't have running water, and you know, how many hundreds of thousands of people die there just from parasites swimming up their pee hole or getting eaten by tigers and shit. Like, it's kind of a fucked up place. Like, I would not want to go to Africa. So when they say like a horrible virus is coming out of a place like that, it's really not surprising. Like, they don't have medical technology. Like, this is a place where they still, and I've said this before, they still do rituals where when somebody dies, they rip their intestines and their stomach out of their body with their bare hands. Like, you want to spread a virus? That's a good way to do it. And that's just one of like many things. Like, in Africa, they don't trust white people. They don't trust the CIA, because the CIA, like, rightfully, the CIA has in the past. Like, a lot of Africans hold a belief whenever anything goes wrong, like, it is the CIA. And they have, like, apartheid and stuff, so they have reasons to not trust, you know, the doctors coming in there and stuff.
Where's Coney?
Well, yeah, exactly. Where's
Coney? Where's Coney 2012?
I'm so glad that nobody from the media speaks fell for that shit. That shit just disappeared. Everybody freaking out on YouTube. We gotta stop Coney, and then all it takes is the leader of your cause running out in the street and jerking off naked. That's all it takes. When the leader of your cause runs out and just starts jerking off in the street naked, it's time. Like, all right, back to the pink breast cancer awareness bracelets for now, I guess. But I'm not worried about Ebola in a civilized nation like the United States. I'm much more worried about other things, like the controlled destruction of our economic state to where we could become a country like Africa. That's what I would worry about more, is that our country's being destroyed internally, and eventually we won't be this nice first world nation where we can stop Ebola. Right now, I think that we are. I don't think that the Obama administration is doing it intentionally. I think they got other shit they're doing intentionally right now that takes precedent over it. Like, and just a side note, I think that like the fappening and the snappening, which was the leak of a ton of Snapchat pictures of like naked people and teenagers and stuff, I think that those are false flags. I mean, if you look at the legislation that's being tried to be passed, what they're focusing on right now is locking up the internet, taking complete control of it, and storing all of your information in Nevada. That's their focus. Or Utah, or wherever that giant storage center is. That's their focus right now, I believe, is that they're trying to take complete control of the internet. What do they gain from a false flag in Ebola? I don't think they gain as much as they do by things like the fappening and the snapping. I think shit like that is a false flag. I think bad shit happens in the world, and as much as a lot of the time it's government, it's not always government. Sometimes bad shit just happens, but they're handling it extremely poorly. I've said it before, I'll say it a million times. Why aren't we using these naval medical boats off the coast? Like, why? We fucking have them. You know, we have them. It's like
level 4 facilities, boats, and
we literally have a plastic spatula in the cabinet, but we're scraping up our Teflon with a fucking fork. You know, like, why are we doing this?
Right, and the protocols aren't being followed, and
there's no reason. It's not like we fucking want.
It makes us look bad. We're using the fork instead of the fucking spatula in the jar.
It's not like we really want fucking bacon and eggs and the spatula's in the dishwasher. No, it's sitting right there in the fucking drawer, and we're scratching up our brand new fucking Teflon pans. Why? Why not just get the fucking spatula?
Yeah, that's gonna be better on the Teflon and not ruin it with the. Well, it's right fucking there.
Yeah, we're ruining the fucking Teflon of America. I'm Kyle Phillips for president.
Oh, Kyle, man, that's great, man. DLAKE for Prez here. I mean, you'd make a great VP. You know, I mean.
I guess I could be VP. I'll take that. I'll be VP. I'll be vice president of analogies. You'll come out on stage and like people will be like, DLAKE, what's us not using these naval ships like? And I'll come over and I'll be like, make an analogy to using a fork on Teflon. And then you
Kyle,
go up.
Kyle would be like Kevin Spacey in House of Cards, like always trying to get me like sort of removed from president without a vote. He becomes the president. You know, like he's always trying to get me to fuck up and stand down so that he could become the president next.
Yeah, like you go out on stage and they're like, President DLAKE, what do you think we should be doing about the economic crisis we're having?
Like it's kind of like Teflon and. Like,
and I come out and I'm just like, pull your dick out right now.
They're like worse.
Trust me, just do this because I want to get in that seat.
I mean, ideally, actually, in U.S. politics, and not according to the Constitution, but according to history past, the president and the vice president are ideally supposed to be at odds.
Well, that's the way it originally was. The original system was the person who came in second place for president became the vice president, and I do kind of think that's a bad idea. I mean, you want them to be kind of want them being competitive with each other, but at the same time, you don't want it so much so that the vice president like might try and kill the president.
Yeah, they realize that them being too much at odds leads to like assassination plots and weird developments of new branches of government called the CIA and like all these weird shadow governments. They're like, the government is growing a shadow here, and it pretty much just looks like the Bush family is trying to take over America. But you know, in future elections, we'll just blame Bush while we proceed with our globalist agenda under Barack Obama, and then we'll say that Ebola is in the country. Well, it's a dissipated pseudo-bioweapon that isn't really Ebola. I mean, those are just my opinions based on some things that I've seen and heard and research that I've done. So today's show being Ebola Hysteria, and I really appreciate Kyle joining me for the show. I did mention that the Q&A was open today. Going to the Q&A? Nothing. Thanks everyone else.
Thanks, AJ Twynham. God, where are you? Where's fucking Don from Save America's Liberty when you need him?
Where's Don? Where's fucking your mom in the kitchen sink? I don't know.
Alright, well, I gotta jump out of here in a minute. I'm gonna be carving pumpkins today. Hopefully I don't get Ebola while doing that.
Did you see Gone Girl yesterday?
I did. I saw Gone Girl, and I have to say it was excellent. It was a really good movie. And I would recommend. Have you seen it or no?
No.
I would recommend seeing it.
I'm gonna wait for a DVD guy or.
It was a good thriller where it's like it really did keep you guessing up until like the last second, and I guessed wrong like every time. You're like, oh, it's probably this, and then it totally wouldn't be that. And like one of the good messages I thought in that movie was that the media is like so fucking full of shit, and how much the media can push an agenda. Because like obviously I'm not ruining anything. Like if you've seen the trailer for the movie. The media just destroys a dude who like is suspected in murdering his wife, and they do such a good job that he becomes like the most hated man in America.
Okay, don't tell me too much, but I heard that
That's all I'll say. Yeah.
No, yeah, okay, that was pretty good though. That was intriguing, but I also heard from watching other movie talk type stuff that the actress, the lead actress in the movie, I mean,
yeah,
has Academy potential. Like supposedly she was really great. Is that
she was good? Yeah, my girlfriend.
Movie or something?
Yeah, my girlfriend wasn't like said like that she didn't like that actress when we went in, but after when we were leaving, she's like, no, she did a really fucking good job. I thought everybody was perfectly cast, especially Tyler Perry. Can you just clip that part out? Yeah, Tyler Perry was in it. I just said that so that I can clip that part, and if anybody ever calls me a racist, I can be like, well, look at this clip where I said Tyler Perry was a good actor. But no, Tyler Perry was
in it. The black guy who normally does Medea and the grandma and kind of a crazy guy. I saw another movie where he was, himself as a character.
He was in Star Trek.
He wasn't where?
He was in Star Trek. He was in the first new Star Trek when Captain Kirk, when he was just James Kirk, when he cheated on the Kobayashi Maru, and he was like standing in front of a council that was finding whether he like was guilty of cheating or not and whether he should be punished. One of those like people on the council was Tyler Perry. He had like 2 or 3 lines, but like in the theater, like it's just
okay.
Yeah,
but that's not what he's known for. He's known for like
dressing as a fat old
grandma and being crazy and this and that. But so you're saying that what was he, a lawyer or what did he play in?
Yeah, he was a lawyer. He was a fairly big part. He was like I wouldn't say a main character, but he was up there.
He had a role.
He had a role. He was, he'd make the first page of, like, credits on Internet Movie Database. You wouldn't have to click See Full Cast and Crew to find out he was in it.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. He's on page 1.
Yeah, he's on page 1 for sure. And he was good. He was pretty decent.
Yeah. Kind of like the media speaks when you look up, like, Ebola news or DeConte Sawyer Ebola or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, just like us. Same thing.
I mean, if you put in the media speaks...
To a lesser degree, though.
Obviously, we're going to be on page 1.
Yeah. Tyler Perry is that to a lesser degree.
I'm surprised we're not on IMDb. We should really be on there.
Should be. We need to take pictures and send them to him and be like, what about becoming
you
part of it?
No, you need to contact your buddy Kevin Smith and tell him that we need to be in Yoga Hosers.
It's already filmed. Maybe we could have a shot at being in Moose Shells. Well, actually, if you wanted to, you could be in Clerks 3. He said that there's like a lot of extras. Yeah, there's a lot of extra parts, and he said that if you contact him, that there's literally like over 1,000 like extras parts for like people walking into the store and just looking around, shit like that, and he wants to use fans.
Oh so no, you know what I want to do? I want to do the trailer voiceover in a world.
Don LaFontaine. You want to be Don LaFontaine?
Did you watch that movie In a World?
No, I didn't because I read the description and it was like daughter of Sam something, but it's like Don LaFontaine is the dude.
Yeah, I know, but I watched it last night and it's fucking great.
Do they mention Don LaFontaine?
I was like practically crying. It starts with Don LaFontaine. And,
it does?
Yeah, and the daughter is the daughter of the number 2 guy.
Oh, okay, because I saw it said that
behind.
Yeah, the description said like daughter of Sam something who wasn't Don LaFontaine, and I'm like, you're full of shit.
It was like Sam Soto or something, but he was like the number 2 guy. He was the guy right behind LaFontaine, and that's how the movie that's how the movie starts. So, but then it's like the daughter starts getting the like her voiceover talent starts taking over, and then it's like I don't want to give too much away, but it's pretty epic. And man,
I'll watch it if they give credit to Don LaFontaine.
It starts with that.
Okay.
And then it proceeds, but then it proceeds to like Lake Bell, who I think is really great, and her name is Lake. So I mean, come on. But it's like a Rocky movie of voiceover.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched the other movie, the one about like the voice actors that like Mark Hamill was in it, and the girl from like My Little Pony.
The documentary.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. We talked about that before, and that's what I'm telling you, Kyle. Like, if you like that, then this
Watch in a
movie,
World.
I gave it a 4-star rating. Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch that while I'm carving pumpkins.
I think what's 4-star? Really liked it. I didn't.
4-star is really liked it, and 5 stars it's liked it, really liked it, loved it.
Okay, right? I only saved loved it for like
I use that term too good because like if there's a movie that I liked but I didn't love, I feel bad giving it 3 stars. 3 stars seems shitty, even though it means liked it.
Yeah, I know. So like when you're rating movies on Netflix, like, I mean, are you liberal with the loved it, or are you like me where you kind of stick to really liked it or liked it?
I generally stick to really liked it or loved it because if a movie, because you know it'll tell you like.
Oh, you use love it liberally?
I do, because like if you see a movie on there that like it says like our estimate for you is 3 stars, you're gonna be like, fuck that. Why would I watch a 3-star movie? And I feel like other people would too. So even if I just liked it, to me it's like 1 removed. It's like a 4 stars really liked it, because to me a 3-star is like, I could have just watched Family Guy instead, you know? And it's like, to me, liked it means worth watching. So yeah, if I like a movie, it's getting at least a 4-star. I've given very few. The only movies I can think of that I gave less than a 3-star, like a 2-star or a 1-star, was like Jesus Camp. I think I gave a 2 or a 3 because I thought that movie, like, it did a lot of like editing style and stuff to make the people look a lot crazier than they are, and I could tell that they were doing that, like Michael Moore style. And when you do that, it takes away, like, there's like legitimate craziness there. You don't have to like enhance it, you just show it. So I didn't really like that. And then Margaret Cho, her comedy special, I gave a 1-star because it wasn't comedy, it was just pandering to gay people. And, like, that's not comedy. You have to be funny, too. Like, if you just make a ton of, like all she did was get up and... She's got up on stage and is like, I love you all gay people, and here's some stuff that isn't funny, but the fact that, like, it's... I mean, it's the same thing as, like, if somebody, like, say, like, she didn't do anything that was good. Like, I can appreciate humor that I, like, agree or disagree with, like, Jim Jeffries does a whole like 15 minutes on gun control, but it's really funny. Like, he's for gun control, but the way he did it is very entertaining, to where Margaret Cho was just like going on stage and jerking off her audience. You know?
Yeah, that Margaret Cho, I probably 1-star, 2-starred that. But yeah, that Jim Jeffries I turned off when he started doing his gun control rap. I didn't like it. I didn't really appreciate that.
See, I didn't agree with it, but he did it in a funny way. It was entertaining. Funny. Like, he did do it funny, so I'll give him credit there. I'll say, like, all right, I disagree with you, but it's like you're a fucking comedian, you know? Like,
yeah, from Australia.
Get out of the country. No, I mean, I like Jim Jeffries.
I'm like, do you and Piers Morgan, like, hang out and go to the shooting range? Or No. But, I mean, getting back to the Netflix ratings, like, yeah, I reserve the loved it for, like, I mean, I hold that like a, like, I mean, I only rate something I loved it. Like, there's very few.
See, I give it away pretty, and there's other things that will affect it too. Like, all right, let's say that you're gonna give something 4 stars, but its current rating is like 1.5 stars. Will you bump it up to
I don't know.
5 stars?
No, I don't even. No.
I'll bump
Even-
it up. If
even-
a movie is a
No.
4-star movie, but it's only got 1.5 star average, I'll give it a 5 just to try and help out its average.
No, I've never done anything like that.
I've done it.
No, that's ridiculous. When I'm searching through what should I watch, and it's like, oh, recommended for DLAKE at 2 stars or 1.5 stars, I'm like, forget that.
Yeah, but
I don't
sometimes those movies will be good. I've had like a 2-star movie that I actually really ended up
So
enjoying.
you come across a 2-star movie and give it a chance?
Oh yeah, I have. There's a movie on there. What was it called? Spaceship 76. Or no, that's not on. That where was that I saw that had a really low rating?
I got that on Redbox last week.
Yeah, it's on Redbox. I watched the. No, it wasn't that because that one I haven't. What was it? There was a movie just recently.
That
where,
Space Station 76, I give like a 2.5 to 3 star.
Yeah, that one I still haven't watched yet. It was something like that though. There was some movie that it gave like a 2-star, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, we have Kyle. Yeah, try to think about it. Hey, welcome, Ken Colwell says greetings on the Q&A.
Greetings, Uncivil Souls.
Greetings,
Ken. How do you rate things on Netflix, Ken? Do you give 3 stars for liked it, 4 stars for really liked it, and 5 for loved it? See, I will give away the 5 stars. Like, all right, all right, Star Wars. How many stars?
Oh, I loved it.
All right, wait.
But
so
you just said no. That's unfair because you just said Star Wars. You didn't specify a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, because I was referring to A New Hope, which was originally just Star Wars.
On a whole.
All right, Star Wars Clone Wars.
Wait, what?
Clone Wars.
Liked it.
Did you know that that's Netflix original? That Netflix bought that?
No way.
I didn't know that, but I guess they bought Clone Wars, and so like the new episodes are all Netflix original.
That's true.
All right.
Kevin Caldwell keeps saying greetings over and over. I don't know if that's a question anymore since you said it a few times.
Well, I got to get out of here and go carve some pumpkins. I hear things happening in my background. But
Jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'll watch that movie. And I'll tell you, I'll have to remember, I'll make a mental note of how many stars I gave it. And as a rule, I leave, this will be like my ending note before I get out of here. I always try and leave comments, like the reviews on the movies, because I read those, so I figure I should leave them for other people to read before they watch movies. And I always I always try and mention Brian Callen at least once in every review that I do on Netflix. So I'll be like, this movie... What I'll do is I'll be like, this movie was really good, but honestly, it would have been better if Brian Callen was in it. Or I'll be watching a documentary and I'll be like, I'm surprised they didn't have any sit-down interviews with Brian Callen. It's like Brian Callen would have much better played the leading role. And I figure that way they'll get more Brian Callen on there because they watch that shit. And Brian Callen has like the funniest stand-up special on Netflix. So.
Okay, that's great. Again, I'll have to look up who that is because I have no idea. But
he's hilarious. He was on Mad TV. All right. Well, I'm going to go carve pumpkins. Thanks for having me on, DLAKE.
Sure. Thanks for joining again, Kyle, and have a great day.
You too.
Totally, I will. All right. Well, there goes Kyle, and thank you everyone for joining in and watching today's special Sunday, just kind of out of the middle of nowhere, a special where I wanted to talk more about Ebola hysteria. If you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll find that there was a lot of relevant news and information that was covered before we started getting off into entertainment and talking about Netflix ratings and all that other stuff. But apparently all the viewers start coming in when we start talking about that. So maybe we should create a whole new separate show where we just talk about Netflix and what you rate movies and if you think Star Wars is the best and all that stuff. Oh, you think that's a pretty good idea? Well, thanks again for joining, and everyone have a great Sunday, and try not to get locked up or put in jail or, keep your dog on a leash. Don't let it get killed by the cops. Try not to get Ebola. If you know anyone in your area that's been on a flight with a nurse that has Ebola, make sure that you don't clean up their vomit in your t-shirt and shorts, or, you know, I mean, immediately go out and get a hazmat suit. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, shut up. That's not funny. All right, I love you guys. Everybody have a great Sunday, and peace out. DLAKE for PREZ, themediaspeaks.com. Check out the work of DLAKE for PREZ, David Lake, Kyle Phillips, Anthony Court, and Sam Ibita-Ganji at themediaspeaks.com.